So Sharon, you're a relative newcomer to our optimal EFT course, correct?
Yes, I am very new.
Okay. And you had an experience that I wanted to have you share with others along the lines of asking unseen therapists for some pointers, some guidance, and so on.
I did.
Yeah. Now, I want to do a little contrast if we can. We have a procedure, on our membership section called the TV guidance channel technique, where we formally ask the unseen therapist to, tell us what kind of specific events are behind a certain issue and all of that. Before you ever even knew about that, you did your own version of it. I said that right,
I
didn't I?
did. Yeah, I was unaware of that. I hadn't got that far on the website.
Okay. But it's still the same principles. You are still asking the unseen therapist, what's going on here? Okay.
Yeah.
Give me some pointers that help me out. So
Yeah.
I'm going to just have you tell the story, but you started out on your couch. Tell the story.
Okay, I was sitting on the couch. I was decided to work on resentment. It was something that you'd suggested during the webinar. And so I started to work on it on a current issue because I didn't think, or I thought I'd worked on all the old resentment issues I had.
Sure.
So I came up with something current and thought, maybe it'll take me somewhere. I sat on the couch, asked unseen therapist, and got absolutely nothing. And I sat, and because I'm new, I thought, should I ask the question again? And how long do I sit here? And I just got a vision, an image of me laying down on the couch instead of sitting, and ignored that and carried on sitting. In comes the image again, real close, insistent, really. And so I felt a bit bemused, but laid down on the settee. And then as soon as I did that, started to get almost like a slideshow of different events from my life that I recognised but hadn't done anything with. And there was such a lot of them. And then they finished, and I felt like, oh, have I got to do each one? I've got to work on each one of those. I can't remember them now. And I ended up, the last one was me with my mum when I was very young.
Yes.
And then the message that just came into my head was that was where I ought to be starting. And then I felt calm because the panic went that I didn't have to try and remember all these issues that she'd shown me.
Mm-hmm. And so did you then address that mother issue?
I have, but I've done such a lot on it before that I've not really got anywhere with that yet.
Okay, you're still a newcomer, but chances are there's something about that. And so what you might want to do, by the way, is either use our formal TV guidance channel technique or the version you just used and ask, well, what specifically is it about this issue, this mother issue, that I haven't seen yet, I've repressed, I've forgotten?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She can then bring that up.
What I did find, Gary, the only bit I did find was that because I was working on resentment, it seemed that I had quite a number of small resentments with my mum. Little things that you wouldn't think would mean anything. But clearly I've held them.
All right. Now, let me interject if I can, because I've been through this a lot. There are lots of times we'll do this. I'll ask unseen therapists, okay? And others of my students will ask unseen therapists through various means. And they will get things that seem like, Yeah. But unseen therapist isn't going to show them to you unless there's something to it.
Okay.
So typically, let me give you an example. I was using our TV guidance channel technique with a lady some time ago. And we were asking for little images of things like you got, okay? And one of them had to do with red balloons. I came up with, I was doing it with her, okay, in her behalf. And I came up with red balloons. And I thought at the moment, well, red balloons. I mean, what's that? Who gets upset about red balloons, you know? But the real skill here, or the real important piece of this, is you don't dismiss anything. I wrote it down, red balloons, even though I thought, okay. When we both stopped our internal work, or Asking Unseen Therapist, I started going through my list, and the minute I hit red balloons, she goes, oh! And it reminded her of something, and then we started talking about it, and next thing you know, red balloons really meant something, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm pointing that out to you. I'm teaching here as well as discussing this, you know, to people listening in, you know, as well. But the important message here, Sharon, is you used a version of what we're teaching, even as a newcomer, to ask unseen therapists, and you're getting answers. What you now need to learn is that you got to pay attention to the answers, even though you think they're nothing.
Yeah, yeah. And the biggest plus for me, Gary, was that I did know I was actually connected to her.
Oh, talk about that.
Yeah. Because I sit and ask her to come in, and I'm never sure, as people said during the webinar, have I actually got through? Like I said, you know, should I sit here repeating the question? Should I sit and wait a bit and repeat again? And I'm always like that. And so it was a really clear for me, a fantastic message just to say I had made a connection, because everything she showed me related to my life. So that was brilliant.
Yeah, see, many people, when they want to have this connection, what they're looking for is what I've tended to call a Hollywood moment. You know, harps playing and angels flying and music and all of this kind of stuff. And well, you know, I mean, those are possibilities, but for most people, we're not really ready for that.
Yeah.
You got some really big messages, a bunch of slides, okay? And it was presented to you in a way that you could recognize it. True, no harps playing, you know.
Yeah.
Elvis had left the building and wasn't even there.
Yeah. It was perfect for me.
But that's what we need to do. We need to start understanding how we're being communicated with. See, our real problem here isn't that Unseen Therapist isn't talking to us. It's that we're not listening. We don't know how to listen yet. And so you're step one at listening, you know, and that's good. That's good. Okay. Anything more?
Yeah, just if I could just say that it was the first webinar that I'd been on as well. And I got such a lot from that first webinar. You know, somebody in there had pointed out, I'm sorry, I can't remember the names, but a gentleman had said, you know, sometimes we're just trying too hard to make this contact. We should just relax and ease off. And I remembered that when I was sitting. So it was really, really helpful.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on to see the webinar. Yeah.
All right. Sharon, thank you so much.
Thank you.